Well, this is going to be a short video, but I want to get this off my chest. The Yakuza franchise has been around for years, and since I'm a big fan of the game, it was honestly refreshing to see a game studio remake their older games. Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 are really great games, and preserve the original material. However, Yakuza Kiwami 3 is very different from the rest. Now, I've only played the demo and a few hours of the game, and honestly, I don't see a lot of issues that people are making it out to be. Sure, the removal of Mac and Kamaki from the game is odd. I understand with Mac because he wasn't a big character to begin with, but removing Kamaki is a very odd choice from RGG. But here's something that I don't like in any community, which is people hating on a series because of one bad apple. It's not fair that people are hating the game and the franchise because someone said so, or it's personal preference. Or Kagawa. We'll talk about him later in this video. The problem with a lot of Yakuza Kiwami 3 video reviews comes down to this. This game is bad, it looks bad, it feels bad, and the story is bad. While I agree with some takes of the game, others are not very good. I see a lot of people complaining about the combat, which if you haven't played the original games, you do not know how bad the combat was in that game. There's a reason why Yakuza 3 was nicknamed Blockzilla, and believe it or not, us Yakuza fans are eating good, because technically there are 3, maybe 4 fighting styles in Kiwami 3. You have the 2 fighting styles for Kiryu, plus Mine's fighting style, which is really cool and fun to use. Then you got the graphics, which doesn't look bad. Okinawa looks really good in some parts. I noticed that a lot of people point out that there's no bloom. I remember people back in the day shitting on Yakuza 3 saying Kiryu looks really bad and how he emotes in certain scenes. The reason why Yakuza 3 looks so good in Okinawa is because of the contrast and the bloom. It was also limited on the hardware and it was also the PS3. The remaster is more or less the same, and I'll admit this, making Kamurocho blue is a weird choice.
What is wrong with you? Why are you blue? Ugh,
but I believe they wanted to make scenes darker at night. In my opinion, I like the way Kamurocho changes colors. It goes from bright and flashy in Yakuza 0 to more gray in Yakuza Kiwami, and the early 2000s green tint in Yakuza Kiwami 2. Now let's talk about the one thing that everyone watching wants me to talk about, and that's the cast. And you know what? I'll agree with the masses on this one, but some character changes are really off. Rikia looks generic, plus his acting is very stiff in a few scenes. The dub leaves a lot to be desired as well. I will never get over Yang Ye as Kiryu. Ye makes Kiryu feel like an anime character in a lot of scenes. The only voice that I don't mind in the dub is Majima. Matthew Mercer does an amazing Majima in my opinion.
Even if I did go back, the Tojo's just not the barrel of monkeys it used to be. So what you're saying is, you want me and my boys behind Daigo to make sure none of the other kids bully him too bad? Where'd you go?
But now, the one you've been all waiting for, Kagawa playing Hamazaki.
Oh boy.
Look, I try to stay away from drama, especially in communities like this one. But Kagawa, I fully agree with everyone on this. Having a sexual predator in a Yakuza game is absolutely fucking abhorrent. For a company that does background checks on all their employees, why was Kagawa's check swept under the rug? For any Yakuza fans that remember the previous titles, the actors were literally replaced in months due to drug possession. The original actor for Hamura and Tanimura were literally replaced in a short time. Yakuza Kiwami 3 was literally announced months ago, and lo and behold, Kagawa is still in the game. Last but not least is the story. I won't spoil anything, but there are a few retcons and changes. I do like some of the additional lore to Mine. I like how we see him go from a stockbroker to a Yakuza. Some scenes are added, like the Majima scene, seeing more of the triads, and many more. Dark Ties is pretty fun. I'd say it's better than the Majima saga from Kiwami 2, and slightly better than The Man Who Erased His Name. Playing as a villain character is really fun, and I believe it's the first time we play as one in the series. However, I will say that the ending is ridiculous, but that's my only complaint. I don't really know why people are complaining about the additional add-on to the remake, especially when Yakuza 3 was critically mixed and flawed. And now for the conclusion. A lot of people in the community are butthurt of a game that not a lot of people liked in the first place. I played Yakuza 3, and it's definitely a game you either really like or really hate. So seeing people get really sensitive over one game, saying it's the downfall of RGG Studios or the Yakuza series, is honestly pathetic. I understand if you don't like it because of the D-list of the original game, Kagawa, or the story changes. That's all plausible. Look, don't let me convince you to buy a game you wouldn't play. I always say this to people who want to get into the series: play any game that looks fun to you. The reason why games like these get such a bad rap is because they clean up the limitations from the previous games. Games such as Dead Rising Remake and the GTA Enhanced Edition. Unfortunately, with those games, they gentrified the experience, but in doing so, they are easier to play with a newer audience. With Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, try something new. Did they succeed with that new thing? I'll let you be the judge. I would like to hear what you think. If this video gets 1,000 views, I'll review the game entirely. Thank you for listening, and stay unique.